Hello, Internet. I hope everyone is well, or at least hanging in there as best you can. Today I'm gonna try super hard not to offend anyone, which I'm sure we all know is an impossible feat, but I don't I don't mean anything by my opinions in the sense that I'm, judging or criticizing the choices that people make. I'm very much live and let live as long as you're not hurting anybody. So, I try to limit my opinions in a lot of cases, but sometimes there's things that just I cannot be quiet about. Number one for me, and will always be number one for me until something is actually done about it, is climate change. You know, uh, 1.5 degrees Celsius, and, crops start dying and stuff, which, we're almost at 1.5 degrees Celsius. So that's very alarming to me. It's actually had quite an effect on my day-to-day life, sleep. Part of me is just wondering, should I even bother trying to save money for any kind of future? Should I, plan to ever be able to buy a home or whatever? I'm 30. I'm in my 30s. Let's put it that way. My early 30s, and I'm just like, what's there gonna be? So I think that's something that everyone should really be talking about more. There's articles and there's, the news that barely touches it as far as I know. I don't know. I have not watched any kind of mainstream media or news in general for quite some time now because it's all lies and bullshit. But, you know, we all see it, people in Texas see it. I mean, they had a huge freeze and snow and hurricanes and floods. It just, all the stuff that is there. The West is on fire, and we're all just like, it happens. It happens. Yeah, it happens. It's not supposed to happen this much, this often. But of course, this is one of those things where instead of uniting together to, fight our common enemy, which in this case I suppose would be nature, it's happening so slow that we're just, yeah, I see it, but whatever. And that's just not okay with me. I mean, right now in my world, the COVID vaccine is a very big thing. Not a lot of people are getting it here. And if you go around my area, you would think COVID never happened. No one wears masks. There are signs on doors that say, please do, it's required, but no one does. And no one wants to enforce it at these businesses because they could wind up dead because some asshole doesn't want to cover their ugly face. And that's not a body shaming thing. That's not a shaming thing at all. If you are too selfish and proud and ignorant to put a piece of cloth or whatever over your face to protect someone else from getting sick, I mean, you're ugly. You're ugly on the inside, and that's more than anything on the outside. So, that's my opinion. There are plenty of people out there who say that masks don't work. They don't do anything. They don't prevent COVID. If you're in an elevator with someone and you're both wearing a mask, but you're both coughing like crazy, yeah, you might get COVID. Chances are pretty good that you could get COVID, but it's about being smart on top of it. You don't just put a mask on your face and say, oh, well, I'm supposed to be 100% covered. If I get COVID, it doesn't work. That's not science, okay? That's not even logic. That's just being dumb and selfish. Social distance. You're supposed to be 6 feet away from people. If you're with the other vaccinated people, take your chances. I am, but I also wear a mask when I'm around other people, okay? So that's all we're asking. And instead, Monday we had nearly 300,000 cases in the United States. And everybody's just like me, you know. I went to the grocery the other day. No one's wearing a mask. Everybody's coughing and spitting and sneezing all over each other. And I'm just sitting there with my mask, hiding in a corner like, we're all going to die because of, you know, a decent amount, I guess, of, you know, really selfish, ignorant, and stupid people. And that's not okay either. And I'm wondering, how many things are we going to say aren't okay before we do something about it? Because as much as we'd like to believe that, you know, we can vote in the right politicians and create laws and pass bills and stuff, that's not actually ever going to come to fruition the way that we need it to. So, you know, we need an alternate plan here. You know, a general strike would be the ideal, you know, way to go about things. But how the hell are we supposed to get everyone to come together to do this, to save each other and ourselves and our planet and our kids and our grandkids? I don't have any kids, but I'm looking at all you motherfuckers whose kids just started school recently, and I'm like, I don't even fucking know what I would do in that situation. I don't know how I would handle that. I know my kid would not go to school. I know there's laws and stuff, and I understand that and I respect that. But if you're not going to give my kid a safe place to learn, I'm not going to follow your fucking law. You know? Sorry. I mean, people break laws all the time, especially rich people. You know, I'm sure rich people take their kids out of school whenever the fuck they feel like it. They have private tutors. So I'll be my kid's private tutor, and, you know, you can have kids go to school. I'm not trying to diss on anyone who is sending their kids to school. I understand. I do. This is not something where I'm right and you're wrong. There's no even right or wrong in this. It's too complicated. It's too big. Sorry, I get talking really fast when I get passionate about things. But it's too complicated. You know, there may be some schools where most kids are vaccinated, and that's awesome. And then, yeah, you know, I probably would. If I knew that the vaccination rates were up with, like, all these parents and, you know, had a good idea of what kind of numbers we were working with, I would be all about sending my kid to a school with a bunch of vaccinated people. Or if they would just wear masks and continue to keep them, you know, socially distant. And maybe some are. That's great. But just because some of them are doesn't mean that, oh, well, then we're good. No, they all need to do that. This is not, oh, well, they're doing it and they're doing it, so I don't need to do it. We all need to care, okay? Like, I don't know why that's such a bad thing or such a weak thing to a lot of people, because the second that you mention to some of these, you know, these big, tough, bad, you know, I created myself all by myself, so I'm better than you and everyone else kind of people, I don't understand why they consider that, like, weakness or whatever. Caring is hard. Do you know how hard it is for me to give a shit about you and your family right now when I'm over here, you know, breathing toxic air for most of my summer because of, you know, how much shit is in the air and how much shit is on fire? Fuck you, but, okay, but I love you and I do care about you, so I'm going to do what I can do to keep you safe, to, you know, try to be a positive influence in people's lives, everyone's lives, because, you know, I don't want to sit here and think badly of anybody. But if your choices are going to be something that hurts other people, I cannot get behind that. I cannot say, oh, well, you know, you have a good reason. Your reasons, in a lot of cases, don't excuse the choices you're making, the decisions you're making for yourself, because they directly and indirectly affect everyone else. You know, why am I not worth caring about? Because, you know, pick a fucking reason. I'm a millennial. I'm an atheist. I support abortions. Not like I love the idea, but it's your body. I understand the need for such things in certain circumstances. Do you? Do what you gotta do to be healthy, to potentially have healthy children and a happy and healthy family. Do you? But other shit, I mean, name a reason to hate me and assume that I'm not worth love, or, you know, I'm not worth a good job because I just don't try hard enough, or whatever reason makes you feel better and allows you to sleep at night, because a lot of this hate and a lot of this division going on amongst all of us is literally just us pointing fingers so we can feel better about ourselves. When the truth is, guys, and may need to sit down for this, may need to pop open a beer, light a joint, whatever, your opinions and your, decisions in life do not matter to what other people are going to do in their lives. If you're not hurting anybody and you're doing shit, but you don't like what Bill down the street is doing and his family because they're atheists, or whatever reason you choose to not like them instead of dealing with whatever problem you have in you, excuse me, that's on you. You don't get to blame other people for shit. And yes, I'm a hypocrite in a lot of cases because it's hard. It is so hard. That's why I say it is not easy to care about people. What's easy is looking over at Bill's family over there and finding a reason to hate them instead of learning and understanding and being able to, connect with them, your community, people. I mean, technology has opened the door for so many things. I honestly have a lot more friends online than I have ever had in real life. But people are also a lot meaner online than they were in real life. And, I mean, it's also closed a lot of doors for us because we don't just go out and talk to each other anymore. We're all just sitting here behind screens yelling at each other because we're unhappy with ourselves. And why? Why are we unhappy with ourselves? Because we're all sitting here knowing that something needs to be done, and a lot of us are actually wanting to do something, but we don't want to accept other people's differences to further our collective goal. That's where we're at, And like I said, it's not as simple as just fucking saying it. I find it very hard to think that I'm supposed to find common ground with and work with a racist, a right-wing conservative racist who would rather me have a baby and not be able to take care of it than have an abortion because it's going to be, disabled or have special needs that are beyond what, one family can do or doctors can eventually do. You know what I mean? So, I get it. It's hard. But overall, we don't have a fucking choice. Like, I swear people just sit here thinking that it's all going to be done for us and something will come along and something will happen and we'll all be just fine. And, I've only been here 30-ish years, but it's not going to change unless we do something. Look back in history. I swear people do not know history. You know history the way we were taught it in school. And I cannot tell you how pissed off I was when I found out that everything I learned in school from, K through 12 about history was bullshit. Then I became an adult. The internet became a thing. Suddenly I can find anything about anything for the most part. And I learned that we're not great. We were never great. There are a few times maybe we were okay. We're not great. We've never been great. But we can be. Together. I cannot stress that enough. Together. We got to get through COVID. I get it. We can't all be trying to have a general strike and, all 300 something million of us or whatever walk to Washington with COVID running amok. But we can do something. We can stand up. We can be louder. And we can come together. We can always come together. There's always hope for that. We can do it. We just got to be brave. We got to care. And we got to be brave for each other, for our kids, for me, for you, for everyone in this world. It's not just our country, even this world. We have to come together. And we have to be there for each other. That's really the whole message that I have. That's why I'm here. That's why I'm putting myself out there the way I am, because this is not easy either. But it needs to be done. More of us need to be talking. More of us need to be brave to, doesn't mean going door to door and voting for this person and not being a Republican or not being a Democrat. It has nothing to do with politics. I cannot stress that enough. It has nothing to do with politics, okay? This is about life. This is about human life. And it's going to end if we don't do something. Come together and do something. God isn't going to save us. You know, whether you believe in him or not, I don't. But let's say I did. I still would not be sitting here thinking he's going to make it okay, he's going to fix it, or this is what's supposed to happen. You really think that I'm sorry, that if that there being a God, that he's going to think that we're, great, and that his little experiment or whatever is going well if we just sit here and let ourselves die? Like, really? You don't think that there being a God that we should be like, hey, we're going to try to do the best we can and show him that we're fucking awesome, we don't need him, or, that we do, but that we're going to do our best and that we deserve everlasting life or whatever the fuck happens. Like I said, I'm not religious. I don't know. I know I love you. I know I want to work with you, all of you, no matter who you are, what you think, to make sure you have health care, your kids have health care, your kids have clean water, food to eat, real education that teaches them real things to help them in life. I love you. And we can do it. But we can only do it together. So think about it. Comment. Tell me where you're at. Tell me how you feel. Whatever. Just talk to me. All of you, talk to me. All right? We need to. More talk. Less complacency. Okay? So I love you. And I'll see you next time. Please like, share, subscribe, all that happy crap. If you like what you see, if you want to share it, spread the word. If you like what I said, subscribe, like. Love you.